I want to tell you a story about what happened today and how it triggered today's video. So a friend or an old colleague of mine asked for maybe a little bit of a help or some advice on how to get more exposure on LinkedIn, and also how potentially to get more exposure for jobs, or to get offered job offers, or just get out there to perhaps enhance the career that he has right now. So I asked him to send over his profile, and the first thing I noticed was his picture. And this really did trigger today's idea, because there's a lot of people who don't understand the power of your picture. But more so, even more in depth, the one thing I want to talk more about is the power of a smile. And here's what's really interesting is I realized I did not smile nearly enough when making these videos. When I go back through all the videos, footage, I usually try to find something where I'm smiling and having some expression where I could use as a thumbnail to get the thumbnail for YouTube all put together. And it is very difficult for me to find something where I'm smiling. And I don't know why. Typically, I'm a very happy person. In fact, I do smile to a lot of people in person. But I wanted to bring how important smiling is in general. And here are some points that I want to go over that will bring to light, hopefully, why we should all be smiling a little more. It's a very, very powerful tool that everybody has. So first and foremost, smiling is a universal language. You may not know this, but every culture, every person on the planet actually already knows somehow, subconsciously, maybe it's just something that's already built in as an instinct, that smiling is a way of communication, and it does give off already instances of what is going on around you. Now, there is a very interesting book called Blink by Malcolm Gladwell. And if you ever get a chance to go ahead and either read it or listen to it in audiobooks, or even do a summary version, go ahead and find one on YouTube. You will find out that every human being is born with instinct about making judgments instantly and constantly. And this could be because we are just always on the alert. Our subconscious is always looking to make sure that it is protecting us. So it's picking up on clues all over the place. But smiling is one of those clues that we actually pick up in our subconscious, and we just kind of figure out what's there. So what was interesting about my friend's picture is as soon as it came up, I asked myself, what story is that picture telling me? What does it tell me about this person? Now, the person I know is happy, super smart, very energetic, always looking to help others, and is just a very positive person in general. Happy to be around with. He's a team player. Everything about this employee makes them a really good employee. And he has the skills to boot now that he could actually list. The problem is the picture I looked at immediately says, I'm a person who doesn't really care. And that was really interesting. That's the first thing. What is the picture telling me? And it didn't really look like the person either that I know, because it's been a while. It was an old picture, but it really looked like, from what I could tell in the image, it was, I'm being bothered for this. And that is not the kind of person I would typically put at the top of a resume or want to call immediately to find out to hire. You should be having an image. If you are looking for a job, or if you're looking to meet somebody or get to know somebody, put on a smile. It is a universal language of being friendly. That's the first thing that's going to come out. And it's very difficult to fake an authentic smile. That's something else that we're going to go talk a little bit more about, because the human brain, there's also another book called Super Communicators, talks about how laughing and smiling make a big difference on how people perceive you. So next thing is, smiling is a natural pain reliever. It's really interesting, but it actually releases endorphins and painkillers and even serotonin. And these are all things that the brain just uses to make you feel good. So naturally smiling makes you in a better state, makes you happy. It also takes away a lot of pain, right? So we're going to go ahead and talk about the next one. It reduces stress. This is probably pretty obvious. It's really hard to be stressed out for very long when you're sitting there and you're smiling. Laughing is another thing. I think I'm going to do another one on laughing later, but smiling is the first and easiest thing we can do, because you might look kind of silly laughing by yourself. But try this. Just smile. I mean, force a smile and put it on. Now, I said you can't fake a smile, but your brain can fake yourself out. So here's what's interesting. Also, smiling is contagious. Okay, I'm going to talk a little bit more about what I was talking about, how you can fake the smile. But when you actually have somebody smiling at you, or you see someone smiling, it's a natural thing for you to smile back. Here's what really also brought this on throughout the day is, as I was going on my morning walk today, I passed about maybe 4 or 5 people. I noticed people just kind of look at you, kind of stare away. But as soon as you smile, then either their demeanor changes where even conversation starts. So I have always made it a point to try to smile first before somebody else. And it's always served me well, just to give just a friendly smile. And a friend of mine, I actually asked him, he used to date a lot of women in his younger days. He's now a lot older, but he said, I asked him, what was your secret to actually meeting a lot of people? And he said, he just smiled a lot. He forced it, taught himself to smile, and it really just did him good. Now, he's a super nice guy anyway, but one of those things that he just says, smiling made all the difference in his life for him. Next, I want to talk about how smiling actually helps your body physically. It actually boosts the immune system. And one of the reasons is that because it reduces stress. So by having your stress levels come down, then your body automatically has the ability to go ahead and heal itself because it's not fighting against the stress. So it can make your body produce more white blood cells, which is what fights your illnesses. So that's another really great thing about smiling, the power behind what's behind that. Next, it improves your mood. And this is what I was talking about. If you force yourself to smile, it automatically can trick your brain into thinking that you're happy. Now, this is an interesting thing. And I know I listen to a lot of Anthony Robbins, and Tony Robbins talks about how you can change your state if you're in a bad mood, if you're not happy, if you're having a problem. And he talks about how changing your physiology. And if you change it, your physical nature means even your face, Sometimes I remember someone says, "Are you happy?" And they said yes. And I remember the old joke was, "They'll tell your face." Someone forgot to tell your face about it, and that was something that was a joke, but it did work. It actually, if you actually force yourself to smile, you will actually get a mood boost out of it. It's just something that's really natural. So the act of smiling can actually activate neural messages that actually tells you that you're happy and that you're going to be in a state of happiness. Next thing is the social benefits. Of course, we've already kind of talked about how this actually makes a big difference. But when you are in a positive social environment, it does make a big difference. I did a video not too long ago about the power of being around happy people. Happy people smile all the time. And the positive social benefit is that when it's a contagion loop around that just keeps on making everybody else get happy. Well, it's just one of those things. You just feel better around people who smile more. So the social benefits are automatic. I mean, that's something that's pretty self-explanatory. Next, here's what's interesting about human beings in general. It is actually been, or has been studied, that even babies who are born with the ability to smile, even blind babies who have never seen a smile, have been known to smile when they hear a certain voice. And it suggests that it's just a natural born innate behavior. So something like maybe instinct. So just keep that in mind. It's a universal language because all humans are built with it. Smiling is that powerful. Next, we'll talk about longevity, meaning it makes you live longer. So being smiley makes you a happier person, and happier people live longer. That's just something that's always been known, and it's probably because it boosts your immune system. Also, it probably just does a lot of other social benefits. People who are less lonely are typically also living longer. There was another study that I had heard about people who forcibly make an effort to be kind and be friendly to others automatically will live longer, which, if you're smiling, you're more likely to be kind and more social with other people in general, which loneliness is what was a factor that kills a lot of people, and people who smile more are less lonely. I was talking earlier about the positive feedback loop. This is one of those things that I tell you, when you start to smile, the next person will kind of smile back and it comes back around to you. And you have this environment where the smiling travels around and it's contagious. It keeps going round and round and round and round. And you just get this feedback. And so here's the thing, I guess, what I was studying, it says smiling can lead to make you appear more confident, more competent. And this is also very true. People who smile a lot more and also and just are generally friendlier people have this sense of others perceiving them as actually being smarter, more competent, and more confident, just in general. So that's another thing that you actually get. You get this, you be happier. People think you are a happy person. They give you positive energy. Your smile gets bigger. You get positive energy back. And that's just a whole all in general. I was actually listening to, I think it was another Tony Robbins, where he talked about how when Ronald Reagan met Mikhail Gorbachev during the Cold War, and what broke it was they broke the pattern of them arguing so much, and Ronald Reagan just stood up and said, this is not working. He's let's start all over again. He put on a smile, and then he shook Gorbachev's hand and said, hey, I'm Ron. Can I call you Mikhail? And basically they started all over again, but with breaking the pattern of now going into a happy mood, starting all at the beginning and starting all over at the beginning, and the positive feedback loop started again. And this is what was a big factor that Gorbachev said stopped the Cold War or ended it. And they no longer saw Americans as evil, and vice versa. The Americans stopped seeing them as just this evil conqueror. So this is the power of the smile. And I wanted to really get this point across, that if you're having a rougher life at this point in time, try smiling a little more. It will make a huge difference. Really, really does. Or get around people who smile a lot more so you get that back. But just forcing that smile, going out there, meeting people, greeting people, and being happy and friendly, and starting off with a smile will make a huge difference. I hope I've earned your subscription today. If I have, please click that below. Then also like and subscribe and make a comment. I'd love to hear your comments as well. And I'll see you in the next video.